Hello guys and welcome to Leicester Square. I'm sitting around enjoying a soft drink. It's pretty busy out and about here. There are loads of Scotland fans down for the game tomorrow. And yeah, just chilling out a little bit. I've been working with Mr. James Tusk once again. We've been doing an event down here, training up some guys. And I was just out with a guy before. We were doing some training in terms of his self-confidence, his social skills, his ability to approach and begin interactions and to continue conversations, which is the all-important part. And I thought I would just record a few thoughts, really, post that session. Obviously not violating any sort of confidentiality or anything like that. But just, have a chat about some of the things that came out. And I think the overwhelming thing for me that was really, really apparent from the session, and it was a really good session, by the way, we had a good time, great guy. And you could really see in the session how he relaxed into what he was doing and how the interactions that he was having, as a result, started to flow just much better, right? And this is really what it all comes down to. Okay, you need to instill a degree of naturalness into the interactions that you're having. Because if you make it seem weird or forced or kind of almost like something that you shouldn't be doing, in a sense, if you go into it with that mindset, then that interaction is also going to feel forced and something that you shouldn't really be doing to the girl that you're interacting with, okay, or to the woman that you're interacting with. So therefore, the more relaxed you can be, the more natural you can make the thing seem, is absolutely the best way to go, right? And how do you do that? Well, the first thing is to have that belief, to have that mindset that this is absolutely normal, okay? We are social animals, all right? We are, as people, as a species, we like to interact with one another, right? And the most natural way to interact with another human being is to go and talk to them. It's not to make a video and to put it onto an internet site. It's not to go on TikTok. It's not to go on Snapchat, right? The most natural way in the world to interact with somebody is to go and have a conversation with them, right? This is what people have been doing for thousands of years. You can hear the brave and worthy fans of Scotland making a ruckus over there in the background. But yeah, this is what people have been doing for thousands of years, right? Millennia, okay? And so fundamentally, the first thing is you need to have that attitude yourself. If you're going into a social scenario, or if you are going into a busy, crowded place like this, you're in the middle of a big public square, and you want to speak to somebody because you think they're attractive, or you think they look interesting, or you think they look cool, then why shouldn't you do that, right? That is absolutely, there's nothing wrong with that. That's absolutely your right to do that, as long as you're not being in any way threatening or you're doing anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with going and just making a social interaction with somebody. So the very first thing to do is to understand that for yourself and to believe that for yourself. And then with every aspect of your demeanor, you need to get that across, okay? This is completely natural. This is completely normal. In fact, if you think that it isn't, then that says more about you than it does about me, if you like, or in your shoes, that says more about you, or rather, that says more about the girl that you're interacting with if she thinks it's somehow abnormal than it does about you. Because your attitude is, look, we are social creatures. We're only on this planet for a short amount of time anyway. If I see an opportunity, I'm going to go for it. And I love to meet people. I love to socialize with people. I think it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. I believe this is the spice of life. This is what life fundamentally is all about. It is our connection with others. As E.M. Forster famously wrote, only connect. Only connect, okay? The only thing that counts in the end, when it comes down to it, is the manner in which we connect with other people, okay? So completely natural, all right? And the other thing is you've got to get warmed up. There's no way around this. You've got to get warmed up, okay? Because if you're in your head and you're a bit nervous and you're a bit shy, it's coming out stilted. It's coming out mechanically, right? You're seeming robotic, you're seeming nervous, all right? And we all do, okay? We all do. Well, most of us do, many of us do. Maybe there are some very fortunate extreme extroverts who just don't have this issue. But for myself, right, you know, the first few interactions of the day, or if you go to a party, the first few people you talk to in the club, same thing. It may seem a little bit mechanical. Those interactions may not be the best interactions that you do. Well, that's okay. That's okay. None of us is perfect, right? You know, no one said that you know, you have to be perfect off the bat. 0 calorie. No one said that you have to be perfect off the bat, right? Who said that? You know, there's no rule book to this. You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs, as my grandmother used to say. You can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. So be prepared when you go into these social interactions, these social situations, that it might be a little bit messy. You know, it might be a little bit all over the place. It might be a little bit awkward. And some of them may just not work. You know, you're not going to gel with everybody. You're not going to be able to have an amazing rapport with every single person that you interact with. That is just how life is, okay? On a chemical level, on a fundamental chemical level, there are certain people you are going to just naturally gel with better than others. And the sooner that you accept that, the better, really. So all that you're doing when you're out and about is you are initiating conversations, you're initiating interactions in an incredibly natural way, okay? And you don't need to do very much, really. You might say, hey, I saw you, you look beautiful. You might pay a compliment like that, or you might do something situational. You might say, hey, these guys over here, it's looking pretty crazy, isn't it? Or something, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You say something in order to open up the interaction. And then you gauge the response, okay? And if the response is somewhat positive, and by somewhat positive, you know, that could be a favorable look, that could be she laughs at your joke, that could be she smiles and says thank you, whatever, right? If the response is somewhat favorable, then you proceed. If the response is not favorable at all, then you're then perfectly within your rights to say, okay, fine, well, it was great to meet you anyway, and then just walk off. Remove yourself from that situation, all right? And that's kind of it. Don't overthink it, all right? And that ability to walk away at any time, that ability just to say, okay, well, look, listen, I came over, wanted to speak to you. You seem cool, but, you know, you're obviously busy, you've got stuff going on, so have a great day. That's absolutely fine. Again, very normal, very natural, all right? It's not about trying to force anything. It's just about putting yourself out there into these social situations with frequency so that the likelihood of you meeting somebody where there is that spark, where there is that chemical, you know, connection on that deeper, more fundamental level, you're making it more likely that you're going to encounter that person. But you've also got to show yourself in the best positive light, right? And the best positive light, for most of us, is going to be when we're warmed up, when we're in a good state, when we're in a good mood, when there's that positive energy coming off of us. And yeah, we're in that social mood. And getting into that social mood, for many people, is the tricky bit. So I was working with a guy, and he was saying that, you know, for him, he can be quite in his head sometimes. And also, you know, doesn't really like small talk very much. And let's face it, a lot of people watching this, you probably don't like small talk very much. I mean, who does, right? Talking about nonsense. Most of us would rather have more meaningful conversations like them. We would rather talk about something a bit deeper. We'd rather transcend just the shallow, basic, ordinary. But for those of us who feel like that, we've kind of got to suck it up, because certainly initial conversations, initial interactions with people, they do tend to be pretty surface level. They do tend to be pretty shallow, okay? And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. It's not to say that you won't get into the deeper stuff further down the line, but to try to get there off the bat is usually a mistake, okay? Usually it's a mistake, because what you want is it to be fun, a little bit frothy, a little bit irreverent. You want some teasing in there, and that's it. And then you stop the interaction. You say, listen, it's been great. We should catch up. You know, we obviously get on. There's clearly a bit of a vibe here. I've enjoyed talking to you. I've got to go now because I've got to go and meet some friends, but we should meet up at another time, so let's exchange numbers, etc. And you do that, right? And keep it very simple, very natural. It's not this big thing. Don't make it seem like it's this crazy, complicated thing when it really isn't. I've said recently to a couple of guys, you know what, the way you want to view it, really, we're sitting in the middle of a big city here, there's 10 million people, whatever, in London, in the London area. And obviously, most of those people you don't know, of course, by definition. But the way that you want to view it, the way that you want to think about it, is you're going around London or whatever, wherever your city is, and it's almost as like you're at a party. It's almost like everyone here is at a party, which it sounds like they are at the moment. So it's like everyone here is at a party, and okay, you haven't been introduced to everybody yet, but you all kind of know each other. There's this commonality, all right? And you want to walk around as if you've got this commonality with people. So when you start talking to somebody, when you start, hey, how's it going? Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, Ben & Jerry's, I love Ben & Jerry's. Have you tried the strawberry flavour? Have you tried the chocolate flavour? Blah, whatever, right? You know, you're going in as if there's this assumed familiarity that's there. It's as if, okay, we haven't been introduced yet, but we all kind of know each other. We all live in London. We're in London now. You know, we've got that commonality together, and you just make it seem really natural, and to yourself as well. It should feel really natural and normal. All right, and if you can communicate that, that's where the interactions start to work better, and that's really what we saw with the session that we did this afternoon with this guy, because his sessions really started to get good later on when he started to relax into it. And when he started to feel good, you know, and he started to enjoy it. And yeah, man, I mean, that's what you need to do, right? You need to relax into it, enjoy it, have a good time. Don't take it too seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. And yeah, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So I think that's about all I've got to say for today, really. It's that naturalness, it's bringing the humour into it, it's bringing the teasing, the banter into it, of course. But ultimately, really, you are initiating conversations, you're initiating interactions, just kind of seeing how it goes. You know, sometimes it's going to go well, other times it's going to go less well, and that's okay, just accept that, all right? Anyway, that's enough from me for today. If you want to read some of my writings about dating and the dating scene and the sexual marketplace and all that good stuff, I've got a collection called Renegade Dating Blueprints. All right, there's a link to that below. Do hit subscribe to the channel for more world-class content. Do hit the notifications bell as well. And yeah, that's it. Just get out there and socialise and have a good time. These Scottish guys certainly are. I'm going to be going and meeting some mates now. So have a good rest of the day, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.